Hello, welcome to the Amy K. Nelson podcast. This is the first inaugural podcast. It might involve this guy, license plate guy, Joe Rubeck, as my co-host. I'm not really sure. You're just sort of dropping by. We might not ever do this again. This might be the worst thing that's ever happened in SB Nation.
I might as well live it up then.
Yeah, live it up. You know, we'll bring in alcohol in a little bit and we'll be good to go.
We'll live it up.
Living it up. So why am I sitting here in a weird studio with all this giant stuff? And why am I sitting here next to this weird dude with obviously Giants colors on? The reason why is because Joe Rubeck is probably one of the most enthusiastic. You're probably one of the most enthusiastic Uber fans that I've ever personally met, and you've kind of developed a little bit of a following, and for some reason people really like you.
Well, that's a laugh and a giggle and a smile out of that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think people sort of like you, and so I thought it'd be fun to bring you in here and have people kind of meet you who haven't met you. I think you actually have some haters as well online, so I think that's kind of good because we need. Yeah.
Well, now I will. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, but really seriously though, to sort of kind of introduce you and tell people really who you are. So I think the first thing I wanted to start with was, why don't you tell us where you're from and then why you're such a Giants fan?
Well, I am from Rockland County, New York. Born and raised, and I am a huge Giant fan because Giant fans are bred into the family. If your dad or your grandfather or anybody in your family was a Giant fan, you were a Giant fan. That's all there is to it. So I remember going to games when I was at 5 years old at Shea. And they played there for 1 year, and then Giant Stadium hit, and that was 283 games that I was there for. And, the rest is history. This whole license plate thing took on a mind of its own when I was 16.
Yeah, I think maybe we should sort of talk about that. Like, I think you're not just a Giants fan. There are a lot of Giants fans out there, but you are just I don't even know how to explain it. How do you explain it? I mean, you not only are you a fan, but you've also infiltrated all the ranks of the Giants and become friends with a lot of players and their wives and the owners, the Maras. I mean, tell me sort of how that began. Where did this license plate thing even start?
Right. I mean, you know what? I get that question a lot. Like, now that you said, I had a following, I still consider myself just a fan. I'm just one of the many Big Blue Nation that's out there. I just happen to be the one that goes to every single game. And I have a couple of non-negotiable items, like sitting in the front row behind their bench and going to every single game, whether it's home or away, wearing a different jersey to each game. So I have my little things too. But the license plates, listen, my dad challenged me. He dared me when I was 16 years old to wear the orange license plate, that one behind you, and it's in there somewhere. And so I unscrewed it off my car, and I wore it to the game with a shoelace.
Why on earth did your dad do something?
I don't know. I was really proud of my plate, though. I got G1 ants. Like, I had G1 ants at all the cars out there in New York State. I had it. Somebody had Giants, though, which is a pretty funny story because I actually met the guy at Giant Stadium. But anyway, I got G1 ants, and I wore it to the game. It was kind of funny. I don't know. I mean, I was pre-Flavor Flav, maybe. I don't know. Huge plate around
Nice
me.
try. Not quite.
Maybe not. And then, they won the game. And, I started wearing them to a couple of games. And, when you get older, maybe you get another car or you change your plate. I never changed that one. It's still on my car today. But one became two, became three. I kept wearing them. And I wore them for years. I wore the plates, just like one or two.
Around your neck?
Around my neck with a shoelace.
For the entire game?
Yes.
When did you actually start getting noticed for this insane behavior?
I've always had a little press here and there. Like maybe I wind up on the back of not on the back, inside a Daily News or a Post or whatever, wearing the plate, giving a, number one finger or something like that after a Giants win. But I really wasn't about the press. I never was. I didn't need my 15 minutes as long as the Giants were winning. And that's true to form today because even though I have that now, I do. I know you give me the eyes.
I am giving you the eyes.
I know, but it wasn't like that. Why? Because the Giants are in the Super Bowl right now? Is that why I have a little press? They win and I get a little more famous? I mean, I'll take it. But it's not about license plate guys. It's not about me. It's about the team winning. And of course, when there's 1, 2, 3 teams, 4 teams left, you know, there are stories out there. One happens to be this crazy idiot that goes to every single game and wears now 18 to 20 license plates around his neck.
You said it, not me.
Yes, I know. But so I beat you to the punch. That's okay. I feel like Eminem. I just beat you to the punch.
So when did you actually start? You told me the story a couple weeks ago that you realized at some point that growing your hair out and having it blonde would actually get you noticed.
No.
Yes.
No, that's your words. That's your words. No, because I told.
No. History.
No, because I told you that I grew my hair out of a bet. I remember it was to raise money for pediatric cancer.
Correct.
Which is a great organization. But after a year's time where I couldn't cut it, I couldn't do anything, I liked it. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to grow it for a little bit. And then I went to a Giants game, and one of the Giants was like, oh, look, Blondie's here again. That was recognizable. And I'm like, did you just call me Blondie? I'm never shaving it again. So I went 20 years with a crew cut, and then the rest is history. I grew that out too, and I won't cut it.
How long have you had it?
Ooh, this is a good about 7 years now, 6, 7 years, where it's been long. I mean, you could tell in Super Bowl 42, I was on the DVD as well, and you could tell it was long, but it wasn't this long.
Well, here's what I find so interesting is that I grew up outside of Boston, and obviously, you know. Yes, I'm sorry.
I got a Boston person here. I got a Eagles guy.
Yeah, our producer, Jimmy Shelton, one of our producers, he's from Philly, and we'll be talking to him at some point. Terrible. Because, yeah, that's definitely awful. What's worse, Philly or Boston?
Hands down. Hands down.
Is that only because it's the Eagles, or?
No, it's because when you talk football, we beat you all the time. So.
Oh, right. Well,
he's worse.
I'm not actually a member of the New England Patriots, and I'm actually no longer a fan because I entered this business 12 years ago, and I started covering the Red Sox, and I just had some really bad experiences.
Really?
Yeah, with the team, and I just said, screw this. Like you know what I still love Fenway Park. I love going there, but I just got completely divorced from like any sort of fandom whatsoever. So it's kind of amazing that we're even sitting here because we could not be like polar opposite.
But wait, but I don't. So you just like you flipped on them?
Yeah. No, it's not flipping. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I like the Celtics and now I like the Lakers. I like the Red Sox and now I'm just not a fan of anything at all.
Wow.
Good thing I work in sports.
Well, I'm not a big fan of anything either.
Oh yeah, right. So this is why I think this is also very interesting. The dynamic here. Maybe you can teach me a little bit about being a fan again, because I just really kind of lost it. What I became a fan of was stories, or people that I had good relationships with. I mean, I definitely root for really good stories because I like to tell stories, and that's part of what I do for my job. But honestly, I cannot identify or relate whatsoever to the passion of fandom anymore because I just kind of lost it. I think it was all sort of sucked out of me.
Actually, I like
Red Sox.
I like
Thanks.
those. Thanks, Red Sox. But I like your stories, though. You tell good stories.
I think I do.
You bring it out of people.
I try.
I'm a fan, by the way. Oh. I'm a fan of Amy's.
Better be. That's why you're sitting in this podcast studio. Hello.
It's true.
And you better keep saying that, otherwise you're not coming back for episode number 2, if there ever is one, because this might be a total disaster and failure. But we'll see.
I think it's off to an excellent start.
Still got a little bit of time to figure that out. Okay, so honestly, why should people care about Joe Rubick? License plate guy. I think what makes your story really cool is, well, A, that you obviously are sort of, I think, kind of like you create a little bit of controversy because of your severe distaste for particularly the Cowboys, but clearly, obviously, the Eagles, well, anything really in the NFC East. And that sort of extends, I know you're a big baseball fan too as well. So
Yankee fan.
Yeah, so that sort of extends, obviously to the Red Sox. But I think what I find so cool, and two things, one, even if you're the most diehard fan, and there are a lot of them out there, so please don't hate me after hearing that I'm sort of this awful anti-fan, but you have not only become relatively famous, especially locally here, especially amongst Giants fans, but you've been able to sort of go places that most fans would only dream of being able to go to, and that's being friends with these players and ownership and the front office. And I'd love to know a little bit more how that began, because most fans are not able to have dinner with Brandon Jacobs or call Chase Blackburn on the phone or have, the Mara family, come over and greet you. And
right.
yeah. So,
I mean, you know what? That's a very good point. But I chalk that up with the same way that I became license plate guy. I was years wearing license plates before I was license plate guy. I was going to Giant games for years before I became friends with any of those guys or, the Mara family, the Tisch family. Listen, when you're not a jerk, when you're not constantly asking for things, I mean, people will come to you. They'll want to know your story. If you saw me, let's say you worked for the Giants, if you saw me every single week for game after game for years, including London, including Minnesota when the dome collapsed, but making it to Detroit, all these games, you would be like, how do you do that?
Oh, yeah. I got to interrupt you for a second. Can we just tell people the insanity of... Tell me how long you've been going to home games, how many straight, and then also both home and on the road.
Well, the home games just have been since Giant Stadium opened and then MetLife. So that's just forever. But as far as home and away, I haven't missed a Giants game in 9 straight years. This is my 9th complete year. I'm going for 10 next year. I have no idea what I'm going to do after that. If I'm going to go further, we'll check my bank account. We'll ask the missus. I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that in a little bit, too.
I don't know what I'm going to do. But, I mean, to be honest with you, getting back to your original question, so people ask me, they'll see me. Oh, one of the non-negotiable things is I stay in the team hotel. So,
Non-negotiable with whom?
Non-negotiable with myself.
Okay.
All right.
This
is what I want to do. If I don't know if I would be staying at a local hotel, saving money, which I probably would, and going and sitting in the upper deck. I don't know if I would go the 9 years. I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have done it. I like it because of where I sit. I'm sitting there. I'm not part of the team. I'm far from it. I don't play for the New York Giants. I don't get a paycheck from the New York Giants. But when I'm sitting front row and I have a player walk by and go, "Let's go, man, today." You talking to me? That's freaking awesome. So again, non-negotiable with me. That makes me part of that team for at least the football game.
Right.
So I forgot where it was. It might have been in Philly, and Brandon Jacobs I'm just sitting at the bar, and Brandon Jacobs pulls up a chair and I'm watching college football, and that's how I met him.
Okay, but media timeout for a second. If I'm a player, I'd be like, who is this psycho?
Which is okay.
Is he following us around?
Psycho.
He's staying in our team hotel. I see him at all the games. What's going on?
Okay, what if I see him at team hotels? I'm not running up and hey, Brandon, can you sign this for me?
Yeah.
Hey, what room are you in? It's none of that. It's none of that. Yeah,
Let's
that'd
hope
be a
you're
little
not
scary.
asking that.
Damn, I wish they had cheerleaders. But anyway, I don't know. He sees me all the time. You would come up, maybe you wouldn't. Somebody like Brandon or whoever else would come up and be like, "Hey, how the heck do you go to all these games? Okay,
right.
What do you do for a living?" That's probably number one question. Everybody wants to know what I do for a living.
Right. What do you do for a living, Joe? LPG?
I'm an athletic director of a special education school in Yonkers. It's called the Biondi School. Great school. It's on the Leek and Watts campus. The kids love my stories when I come. That's kind of another reason why I kept it going is, when I get back from a game on Monday morning, the kids are like, "Let me see the pictures. Who'd you hang out with? Who'd you talk to?" That's really fun to sit there and explain it to the kids. It's almost unreal. It's, the stories that I can tell, which is right up your alley, Miss Non-Fan, but storyteller, is probably exactly what, everybody wants to hear. I could sit there and tell a kid, it's almost like I'm telling stories to kindergartens, but, these are junior high school kids. Tell them that, yeah, Brandon Jacobs and I, we watched the Cuse game and, and then we talked about football. We talked about the game tomorrow and this and that. And then, Sunday morning, Brandon sees me and is like, "Hey, LPG, let's go today. Big win today." That's before the game. And then they'll win and then they'll come over, give me a handshake. That's how friendships start. As adults, you probably are set with your friends. Everybody has their friends, their set of friends, and they're not making any new ones. Well, in this case, it's a little different. I guess I meet new friends as I get older.
Apparently. No, we were at your house a couple weeks ago.
Whoa. You
And-
tell that on air? Love that. Now that story is not for the air. But go on.
So inappropriate. So I was at your house along with a few producers of mine, Steven and Jimmy Jam, Philly Jimmy Jam, right?
Cool
Jimmy?
dudes, by the way.
Hi, Jimmy.
Really
Say
cool
hi.
dudes.
Oh. Speak up, Jimmy.
I'm trying to speak. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Jimmy.
That's the Eagle fan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is the Eagles.
I know. That's why his mic was turned off. I did it like I did one of those kill buttons or whatever. They
Right.
have. It was great.
Cough it out.
I did.
Don't speak. Anyway, so the three of us were there. We were shooting another story, and sorry, as I prepare to cough. Did you cough?
I'd like to my third time.
See, we've
but
got
I
these
know my
cough
kill
buttons on
switches.
the on the ground. And so if you can't get it, you're just tapping your foot all over the ground trying to look for the cough.
Normally, you would set that up before going on. But
It's okay. Hey, we're a startup. We haven't even launched yet. No one may ever see this. That's the fun part. Anyway, so we were at your house, and you were sort of like telling us all these stories about, why you being a fan, getting in with all these players, and then the doorbell rings, and he's like,
I swear I didn't set that up, by the way. I really didn't.
I mean, it was like TV magic.
It was.
Whoa!
It was. Great
It was
timing.
amazing. And the doorbell rings, and we're sitting there rolling, and he's like, "Oh my God, I think those are my Super Bowl tickets." And we all look at each other like, "What the? Seriously? Like, really?" And
It
so
was.
the best part is like the FedEx guy, he knew you. He knew that you were a license plate guy, and he was so excited to give you your ticket. He's like, "Oh man, I can't believe you're home. This is awesome." And you got him right there. I mean, you got Super Bowl tickets delivered while we were there, and then that's when we sort of, then I saw like it was like kid in a candy store. I mean, whatever, Christmas, all the cliches you can think of. So take us from that. I mean, I would imagine, if people haven't stopped watching this already because they don't care about the Giants and don't want to hear anything about the Giants, which are you
Turn it
doing?
back on.
Are you okay?
I know there's millions. I know there's millions left that are watching. Millions. So it's okay if we lose a few.
Tens of
millions.
Subscribe, SB Nation, by the way, YouTube channel launching March 1st. So, SB Nation. So, I mean, what are your best stories? I mean, you brought a bunch of like fun props. I mean, we're talking about all your license plates. This is just insanity. How many are these? There's 20 of these here?
I think there's 18 to 20. There's license plates coming monthly to my house. I really should set up a P.O. box. But there's plates coming from all over the country. This one guy sent me a plate from Virginia that didn't even make it on his car yet. He ordered it from DMV, took one, sent me one. And I tell them all, I was like, listen, I'll rock them to the games. I will. It's a lot of plates, though.
Well, tell us. All right, we're bouncing a little all over the place right now, but you've got to tell the story about the Patriots fan from 2007.
There's a plate in there somewhere that says 19-0, and it was great to receive this plate because I didn't give him my
Massachusetts plate.
Massachusetts plate, 19-0. I have no idea where it came from. The guy wrote. I see the manila envelope sitting there. I open up the package. It's just one piece of loose leaf paper, and it says, "I jumped the gun. Take it." That's it. And it's a 19-0 plate, and it's crossed out to 18-1.
So bitter.
Bitter, but really nice. Like, really nice. I mean, like, I'd love to know. Like, that's really nice to do. He just didn't want it anywhere near his state.
Just don't even get anywhere.
Get it away from me.
It's amazing. So that's one of my favorite license plate stories. Oh, there it is. I don't know can we? Hey guys, Jimmy, Steven, can we see this?
Can you see it?
Yeah, we got it.
That's it.
That might have just sounded like the most loud, awful noise in the world. And the set falls apart.
Can you imagine out of games though?
No, I mean, how many pounds? I mean,
it's heavy, and my neck is killing me.
Do you do neck exercises? Honestly.
Yes.
No, seriously.
No.
All right. Whatever. You just tough it out.
Yeah.
Your LPG, tough it out.
Exactly.
So, let's go back to the Super Bowl. What do you got? What was the best part? What stories you got? Give me some. This is confetti, by the way, that
Yes,
fell
I
on the
brought
field
that
that
in,
he
yeah.
brought back because he obviously got on the field with all the players celebrating because he's the LPG.
I packed. Where is all the confetti? It's somewhere.
I think it all
packed
fell on the ground.
That's all right. I have plenty more at home. I took like pockets.
Sorry.
Pockets full of confetti.
So what's that? What are your best stories? Give them. What do you got?
This is my best story. I got a ticket to the Super Bowl. I sat front row. I got a great story about the plates. You know, I was worried about getting them in.
Right.
One of my huge concerns before I headed into Indy was whether they were going to allow the metal plates in. And I had a real tough time in Super Bowl 42 getting them in. And that was only 3. So it might have been just 2. It might have been 2. But so I'm online. I'm one of the first people. I don't tailgate as much. I want to get in, talk to the players, see who's around. So I get in when the gates open. That's just my thing. So I'm online, and one of the security guards is like, he's looking at me, and I'm wearing them. And I have a huge clip that is at the end that holds like 10 of them because, I mean, I'm only 5'9", so I only have about 8 plates showing or 7 plates. So he looks at me and he goes, "There's no way you're getting in with those." And I knew that I was going to have trouble. And I kid you not, 5 seconds go by and there's a big wig security guard, bigger than that guy in the yellow jacket, and he goes, "Hey, you were at Super Bowl 42 wearing some plates, weren't you?" And I was like, "I am. I wear them to all the games." Blah blah. In the mid sentence, he's like, "Come with me. I'll get you in with those." And you have no idea of the weight that was lifted off my shoulders because, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it was, it was life or death. I had a ticket front row to the Super Bowl. I was getting in no matter what. Oh, there you go. I had a front row seat. I'm going no matter what. I'm not going to cry over it, but I don't know. It's LPG signature.
One of my producers just told me, reminded me, maybe I sort of erred in that way, but he just said, "What the hell is LPG?"
Right.
LPG. Fail host is license plate guy. That's what he's known for.
But again, the millions that are watching, they know. They know.
Well, now they know. I don't know if they knew before, man.
Well, they know now.
SB Nation blowing it up for you. Okay, so you get this like big security guy to like by some miracle, get you in because he saw you in the Super Bowl DVD, right?
Correct. Correct. So again, it goes back to our original conversation about, any kind of fame on my 15 minutes. Maybe I did get it back then, but it wasn't, it wasn't SB huge. It was just slightly huge. It wasn't SB Nation huge.
Certainly wasn't SB Nation
exactly.
huge.
I mean, come on. So, again, the weight lifted off was incredible. And then I run down to my seat. Again, kid in a candy store. I get down to the front row, and normally I hang my plates over.
Hold up a second. Gotta interrupt.
Uh-oh.
I know. Interrupting the LPG is obviously not a very cool thing, but I've just been alerted that we have a special guest online because the LPG is flexing his amazing, networking muscle. And Jimmy, is it true that we do have someone on the line? Do we have a potential guest?
Blackburn.
Chase Blackburn.
Right,
Chase, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you guys doing?
Hey, this is Amy Kate Nelson and your best buddy, Joe Rubeck, calling. How are you?
What's up, big man?
I'm doing great.
So, all right, Chase, I got to ask because I just met Joe a couple weeks ago. I hadn't met him before. I spent a couple hours with him. I was doing another story that he was involved with. And he started telling me all these stories, obviously, about, his fandom and then about also getting to know the players and getting to know team ownership and the front office. And, I mean, can you just tell me how you first got to know him and whether or not you were actually ever worried he might be slightly insane?
We met him back a few years ago in a hotel. I was actually there with my mother-in-law, and I think it was in Green Bay, actually. And I was there with my mother-in-law, sister-in-law, my wife, and we're all hanging out, and Joe and Sarah were down there, him and Joe and his wife, and we just sat there and talked, and we had pizza, and we were just hanging out, and that's basically how it started. And Hitchcock was down there. I was more worried about Menace and Hitchcock than Joe.
So did you recognize him from being on the sidelines? I mean, is that how, when you saw him in the hotel, you kind of knew that he was like the guy with the license plates and that he was always around your team?
Yeah, definitely knew that. We were just kind of figuring out, I just asked him, what he did for a living and how he was able to afford going to all these games. Obviously, I know it takes a toll on the pocketbook.
Sure.
Yes, it does.
I feel like you guys maybe like got together before
I
Chase called me.
just gave this story, by the way, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, well, he gave me the play-by-play of like, because I was asking him, how, there's so many fans, right? You guys meet so many fans throughout the course of your careers, but there are very few fans that actually, that players ever really, I'll speak for you, you don't have to confirm this, but in my experience, dealing with players that would actually really want to like take that extra step and hang out with the fans. I mean, it's nice to interact with them and appreciate them, but to actually really, sit down, even have a beer or even more, text message or become friendly, that's really unique. So I was just trying to kind of tap into that to, the whole conversation started with like, how did you actually, get these guys to really become friendly with you? And, in your experience, it seems, I mean, that's got to be a sort of a rare thing, right?
Yeah, well, I guess, you see a guy week in, week out, and, you're hanging out at the hotel and you have family there. And, I know a lot of times Joe gets to hang out more with families than he does with the players themselves, it seems like. But, and then, his wife and my wife are really good friends as well. So
Wow.
It made it pretty easy. We're kind of built from the same mold as far as, how we think and what we like and things like that. So it's been pretty easy to hang out.
So after your career, you might like sit with me with license plates?
I might end up with license plates at some point.
In the stands.
In the stands with me. It's my buddy Chase.
I don't know about that.
That's awesome.
I would hope not. So anyway, I didn't even say this when you first called, but congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that must like never feel old, right? People telling you that?
Definitely not. Not especially not yet. It's still fresh enough where it still feels real good.
I bet. So what, can you just sort of tell me, I mean, I know that you've gone through this a million times, I'm sure, and there was so much media and press and everything involved with the Super Bowl leading up to it, and then I'm sure after it, but can you just sort of give me a little bit of an idea of what your life has been like over the last 6 months? I mean, you were unemployed, at home, trying to figure out maybe what your next step was after football because you didn't have a job. And then you almost got to the point, and I know this has been told ad nauseum, but just want to reiterate. You're like, all right, here we go. Here goes the substitute teacher story again. I see it coming down the pike. But that's basically what happened in essence, right? You were lined up to substitute teach math, and then you got the call, right?
Yeah, we were taking the steps towards it. The job wasn't mine, but we were definitely trying to figure out what I needed to do to get that job. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The teachers didn't go on maternity leave until the Monday after Super Bowl, so I could have still taught, and I wouldn't have been teaching until then, even if I would have got the job. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
it was tough being out of work, and I was just ready to be back and playing, and glad I could help this football team win.
Yeah, so you get the call, and you're probably just excited to get a call to, say a call of employment, right? Hey, all right, cool.
Right, definitely. For me, it was one of the things where I was wondering if I'd get back into it this year. I was still hopeful, but at the same point, a lot of these workouts, I was kind of just at least hoping that it would get me into a camp next season and give me an opportunity to play then.
How often were you working out?
4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
I'm always interested with athletes who face that sort of point in their careers where they're not quite sure if what their next step is, and how you maintain sort of, I guess, the motivation and the desire when you're completely in, I guess, sort of a limbo state when you don't have a job. You still really wish you did have one, but you don't know if it's going to come. What was that sort of process like for you?
I still definitely thought I had some years left in me, and was
Yeah.
just trying to make sure that if I got the opportunity that I'd be ready for it. So for me, it was encouraging to get calls from teammates and stuff, like ex-teammates. I guess they're my teammates again, but at that point they were ex-teammates, and just telling me to keep motivated, keep pushing. That I deserved to be somewhere, and the call would come. Also, to get calls from other teams that have workouts. I worked out for New York early, Detroit Lions, Cincinnati Bengals, and the St. Louis Rams. So, it's one of those things where every time I got a call, it was at least encouraging to continue to work out. I didn't want to show up to one of those places and not be ready.
Right. So when, Joe, when you heard that that the Giants had called him, signed him again, when he was out of work. What was your reaction? Did you?
Wow, that's actually a really funny story. And first of all, going back to Chase's workouts, he's being nice when he just says he's working out, because I know that he was grabbing his cleats and going to a local park too and literally working out. You can't just go to a gym and lift weights. Am I correct, Chase? You had to be in somewhat of a different kind of workout. You had to get your cutting in and your starts and stops, correct?
Right. I definitely, I had to do that. I had to keep up because that's what they're going to ask of you when you go to the workouts. They're going to ask you to do those other things, and if you get signed, you can't be sore the next day and not be able to practice. So
Right.
You can't pull a groin out there or anything like that. So I had to make sure that I had all those different aspects of actual football conditioning in.
But were you doing that by yourself, or did you actually have someone helping you with that?
Oh, no, I was by myself. I was
Whoa.
lifting.
It's motivation.
And later in the day, I'd go to the park twice a week at whatever time the boys would be napping, and make sure that I got my conditioning in on the field. And when I wasn't doing it on the field, the other 2 days I would be doing it in the gym. They had an indoor track where I could do all my speed work and different things like that.
That's unbelievable.
That's great dedication. But
That's awesome.
I was talking to Chase during his time off, and every week I couldn't imagine, as a Giant fan, the Giants were having somewhat difficulty at the linebacker position, and whether it be injury or rookies, Giant fans, whether they were blogging it, Facebooking, Twitter, anything, they were talking, where is Chase Blackburn? So, I would bother him to the point where I was like, you know what, I don't know whether I'm helping him or hurting him as a friend by keep asking him what's going on. So when he finally called me and said, hey, I'm flying in tomorrow, I'm like, for what? And he's like, because I'm signing with the Giants. I was, I wasn't only elated as a football fan. I was elated because my friend one is coming back. My wife's friends are coming back. And I told this story to Chase, which is kind of funny. I think I tweeted, 57 is back. I didn't.
Uh-oh.
Right. I didn't think that it was. I didn't think. I just wanted to. 57's back. My buddy's back.
Yeah.
And I heard that I broke the news that he was coming back, which was, I don't know whether that was good or bad, by the way.
Wait, was that good or bad, Chase?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't think it. I guess if I wouldn't have signed, if they had changed their mind within the next few hours, then it would have been bad news. But,
Right.
Well, you wouldn't be on this show, right? You wouldn't be on this show, and I don't think I'd be friends with you.
Friendship over.
Friendship ended. Thanks, LPG.
But that's cool. So you called him, Chase, once you got the call. He was one of the people that you called and you wanted to share that news with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been a great friend. I mean, shoot, him and his wife, they came out to Ohio this summer, so hung out with the boys. Landon, our oldest son, loves hanging out with them, and he likes to say Joe a lot, and he's learning how to say Sarah instead of just Wah. But we're working on it.
That's awesome. Okay, so tell me this: what do you remember? Seriously, what do you remember from those 2 weeks prepping for the Super Bowl, and then obviously the game itself? Is there anything?
I mean, just putting in the different work. Being when we were here, putting in those 3 days here was really the grunt of it. Making sure you got the playbook in and did all of our practices here, because once we got out there, we knew the media was going to be out there, and the
Right.
schedules would be a little bit different. Practice maybe a little shorter. Plus, it was great for us because we were able to put in our 12 personnel, which is 2 tight end personnel that Gronkowski was playing. Put that in out here. We put in clubs personnel, which is 2 tight ends and 3 wide receivers if he was playing. And then when we got out to Indy, we were able to put it in our defense as if he wasn't playing. So that extra week gave us a lot of time to prepare and put different things together and plan for it either way.
So that obviously stayed with you, clearly, and in the end wound up being a huge boon for you guys. But the overall experience, and it's only been, I guess, a few weeks since you guys won the Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, is it hard to have any concrete memories? Is it a lot of it just sort of blend together? All the extracurricular stuff, I guess. The stuff that, not the game preparation stuff, but everything sort of non-football.
Non-football wise,
Yeah.
Obviously the media day is a big part where you go out on the field and you get to talk to media from around the world and different things of that nature, as well as taking your team photo, because I wasn't a part of the team photo when they had it this year. So that was my first photo I was a part of as this team. And then after the Super Bowl, after we won, having our family out there, having my wife and our two sons out on the field, that was a great excitement for me.
That must have been awesome.
You know, I wanted to ask you a question about that, Chase, and I haven't until now. What was it like to have your father watch you win your second Super Bowl? And if I'm not mistaken, he was not at 42.
No, he was not there. It was, at that point I was young, and I didn't want to spend all the money to get him out there, and I was a little nervous about how much it would cost because I had to have their hotels for a week and everything like that. Where here it was in India, it was easy for him to drive in and out, and he liked it better. He didn't have to stay there and have all the festivities. He could just enjoy it for a day and get back out of there after it was over. He's kind of a homebody guy himself anyway, so he really enjoyed it. It was awesome. It was one of the things where my wife had a pass to get over, and my dad was left down there, and we were trying to find him after the game. Megan went over to try to get him in, and they wouldn't let her bring him on the field, so then I had to go over. He was in like an enclosed fence area, and the security was like, no, you can't do it. I'm like, just get over here. Like, you jump on the fence. Let's go. And,
Did he?
And, we were able to celebrate. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
5.5, so he just walked over the fence.
Yeah, he's big.
Okay.
He's a big dude.
Yeah,
And I got to tell you that I actually took a picture of him on the field, and I have to tell you that was one proud papa. He was.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. He's called me a lot since then.
It's pretty cool.
So, you made one of, the most important plays of that game. And I'm just kind of curious, is there any way you can kind of take us through that again? Or has anything changed for you since making it and maybe reflecting on it a little bit ever since the Super Bowl?
Not really. It's just the play itself was just trying to be I was just doing within the framework of our defense. The pressure on him, Linvo Joseph had on Brady early, made him hold the ball a little longer, and allowed Gronkowski a little further down the field. And then I saw D-line come late in a space where he couldn't quite get enough on it. So all that allowed him to underthrow the ball just a little bit, which allowed me to make a tough play on the ball instead of being in stride for Gronkowski, where we had more of a jump ball where I could kind of box him out.
Tough play, but you got down that field. I was in the room watching the game, and everyone's saying, how the hell that guy?
The hell's 93?
Yeah, no. How the hell did he get all the way down there? I mean, that's got to be something that a lot of people mention to you and bring up, right?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone has always asked me if that's the longest interception by a number 93 in history and all that stuff. It's just one of those things where I was just trying to make a play for the team, help us win, and fortunately I was able to do so.
Got it. Okay, so we're going to let you go soon, but I think if this is what I wanted to actually have Joe ask. Like, if you're a Giants fan, which obviously you are.
I am.
What's the thing that you think most people would want to know about Chase or want to ask Chase?
Want to ask him would be football stuff. What they
Yeah.
want to know about him is that he's an unbelievably gifted family man. Forget about football. This guy is a Mr. Mom. He is all about his wife. He's all about his two sons. He's all about the extended family. And for that matter, his friends. So, it's funny, being such a Giant fan, I hate to read negative press, and I'm starting to act like I'm part of the team, and I won't read the blogs, and I won't read the newspapers. But they really should know what a gentleman he is, because he really is one.
Okay, how much did you pay him for that, Chase?
It cost me a pretty penny, but I appreciate it.
It's true, and you know it.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything that you could tell people out there about Joe and give them just a little bit more understanding about the type of guy he is, or why you guys are actually really friends?
About Joe, what I would say is, no, I can't say that, Joe. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say something about the hair, but I can't do that.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
He's like
please.
Spicoli /
We
Fabio.
already spoke about that. Bring it.
I hope you guys give him a hard time for
I'm
that.
not going to do it to you, Joe.
I don't do it.
No, I would just say, that he's a great father, too. He has a daughter, Bella. He tries to spend as much time with her as he can. And obviously, he's a guy that likes to give back as well. But at the school he's at, I went there and visited. And there's some kids there who have it rough, have had rough lives, and he's just trying to give back and help them out as much as he can. And on the side, he teaches baseball lessons so he can go to the game. So, everything he does is for the community and to help young kids. And, obviously there's something to be said about that.
Definitely, and I think I just created an amazing bro love fest right now.
I know, this is supposed to be at the Super Bowl. You're like, Chase, I love you.
Chase, I love you. I love you so much, man. You're the best.
That's great.
So what's next for you, Chase?
Well, we're gonna go to Ohio tomorrow morning. I'm a best man in my best friend's wedding from college. It was our fullback, and that's our next move.
And then we
We're
know
back out
we
here.
know what we want. Contract.
Somewhere, hopefully, in the near future.
There will be one, bro. I'm telling you now, there will be one. And every single Giant, if it's left up to any kind of fan or media or talk show host or whomever, they want Chase Blackburn back. He was not only a huge part of that Super Bowl, but he solidified that D when he was signed. So I think the Giants are going to do the right thing. I really do. I think he's going to get I don't even think it's going to be a year. I think it's going to be a multi-year contract.
Do you have anything else to add to that, Chase?
I just hope he's right.
We'll take over my agent responsibility
Yeah,
soon.
exactly. Good political answer. All right. Well, Chase, thanks so much. Really appreciate you giving us a call, and maybe we'll we'll do something a little bit more with you too at some point down the line.
No problem.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Yep.
Peace, brother.
Thanks. Wow, our first athlete, Colin.
He's a cool dude.
How do you feel? I feel great.
I feel phenomenal. You have a cigarette?
I wish. But we definitely have alcohol, and I think we might need to bring some in here soon. That was very cool.
He's just, I told you, he's like he would be like sitting in this booth right here and be fine. One time he came over my house, and I have a batting cage in the backyard. And he was early. We were going to dinner or something, and he was early. I still had like 45 minutes left on a lesson, and there were like 5 kids back there. And, I was like, go in the house, hang out, watch TV, whatever. I was like, nope. He stayed out there, wanted to watch the kids hit, gave him some pointers. I wasn't splitting my money, by the way, with him. But he gave the kids some pointers. He hung out with all the kids like he's just a regular guy. He really is. And there's a lot of athletes like that, that are out there that are not just stuck up, all about the money, all about the dollar. And no, there are a lot of chasers out there. He's a cool dude.
Right. Showing now that obviously you're the one in this relationship who has all the flex because you can get the pro athletes to call in. I'm just
might be back.
Show
Maybe
up
back one more week.
just one.
SB Nation.
SB Nation. We should call it LPG Nation.
Well, I could like right down on the bottom.
It's like boop, 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 boop. All right. So I think our guys want to know. I don't know why all of you are still watching. If you still are, but thank you, appreciate it. And if you are, one of the things I think a lot of people kind of are curious about. I mean, I'm kind of curious because you were in Indianapolis for a big part of that week, and it was like Eli, but it was like Peyton. Where do you come out on that?
I don't really care about Peyton. I care about Eli. Peyton work out his own stuff, man. I don't. Why? You know what? News is news because people create it to be news. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Peyton Manning, one of the most elite quarterbacks. You like how I do that? Elite quarterbacks, like Eli. One of the most elite quarterbacks to ever play the game. Mm-hmm. But time will tell. I don't understand why everything has to be the biggest of stories, day in and day out. When let it take its course. I understand the media will take it a different way. Let it take its course. I think both sides have handled it, Ursay and Manning, pretty well. If you read between the lines, you could take it a different way. But things are going to work out.
Yeah, but
Peyton's
was that
going to be back in Indy?
Yeah, but was that he was making a lot of news leading up to the Super Bowl. I mean, there was a lot of news about him, right? I mean, he did an interview. I mean, it was the Ursay. I mean, was that irritating at all?
Not at all.
Oh.
If you're insinuating that it might have taken anything away from the other Manning, absolutely not. It wasn't.
That's
Like,
just
it
because
wasn't-
you're an Eli fan. Come
True,
on.
true. It wasn't like, an A-Rod breaking his contract in the middle of a game or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
I was there.
Yeah,
World Series.
Right,
Uh-huh.
exactly. It wasn't something like that. Listen, we're in Indy. It's going to be story. I bet you if you asked Eli, he would be like, good, take a little bit off of me.
Yeah.
He's that type of guy.
Right.
He would be like, Eli's a serious jokester. You know that, right? Big time.
I
Like
don't know that personally, but
one of the biggest jokesters on the team.
bigger man crush, Eli Manning for you or Chase Blackburn?
Chase. He's a friend. Eli, is just like, like a buddy. Like, good luck. I've heard, actually, Eli's.
That's what you got with him?
Yeah, that's all I got with him. See, Eli's different because I would say over the course of 9 years, I've only chatted with Eli a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he gets to that hotel, that's the last you see of Eli Manning. And if you think about it, I kind of feel bad for him. He's sitting there, knowing that there's going to be hundreds of people wherever he goes.
Yeah.
He can't go downstairs to the hotel lobby and grab a cup of coffee. He can't go grab a magazine at at the store. He can't do that. He has to sign all the time. I'll give you a story. We were in Green Bay, and I don't know if you remember, but the Giants were snowed in. We couldn't get back. We were there for a couple of days. They couldn't leave after the game in Green Bay a few years back. And the linemen were hanging out. I was hanging out with them in the hotel restaurant. And Eli walked in, and it was pretty cool because that was the one handful of times, by the way. And he wanted to hang out for a bit. Like he can't stay in that room for 2 days. And now that we have texting and Twittering and everything, 5 people got his autograph, and then 10 people got his autograph, and those 10 text 10 people,
Right.
and those 10 text 100, and then there was 200 to 300 people outside. And I think it might have been David Deal or Rich Seibert. It might have been one of those guys said to the crowd, like they were starting to come in from the outside. And, they were like, guys, like he's just trying to, have a drink and, watch some TV with his teammates. And then, of course, you have the you're a piece of crap, and your brother's 10 times better,
Mm-hmm.
and we thought Aaron Rodgers was a jerk off, and you take the cake. And I'm sitting there like he just signed 50 autographs, maybe even 100. Like, give the guy a break.
But that happens with like the biggest stars. I mean,
there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's just sort of
It
par
comes
for the
with
course.
It is. You sign a $100 million contract. You're going to get 100 million autographs.
Okay, so enough of Giants talk for a second. Sorry, you gonna handle it? You can
Maybe.
breathe.
Now's when they might be turning off. But go ahead.
Let's talk a little bit about the Yankees.
Woo!
You're
I'm a
a
big Yankee
fan,
fan.
right?
Yeah, I'm a big Yankee fan.
Like you're clearly known for being this crazy Giants fan,
Right.
But you like baseball.
Love baseball.
Tell people what you have in your backyard.
Oh yes, I do. I have the Yankee facade on my fence in the back of my batting cage. See, it's kind of funny that I'm a license plate guy, but yet my forte is teaching baseball lessons.
And what qualified you exactly to teach baseball lessons?
It's pretty funny because I did play college football and baseball at Cortland, and the best part about it was I think it was 91 or 90. One of my friends, Paul Solomon, called me up and he's like, listen, we have this coach doing some fundamental drills on Saturdays for this New City Little League. Mm-hmm. He can't make it Saturday. I know you're coming home for the weekend. Must be in a Giant game or something. I was coming back and he's like, do you wanna do this? I think they'll pay you like $8 to $10 an hour. I'm like, $8 to $10 an hour? I'm in college. That's phenomenal. $8 to $10 an hour? I'm in. And I went and I taught these clinics. I taught what I taught, how I play. And I've always had the ability to reach kids. I'm an uncle 11 times. I'm a great uncle 3 times already. So I was an uncle in 4th grade. I was a godfather by 6th grade. So I was always around kids. Anyway, the baseball was a hit. The kids loved me, and I had a great time doing it. And then I think a few weeks into it, they didn't ask that guy to come back. I took over the clinics, and I forgot his name. But one of the parents, got me after the last clinic. He's like, listen, do you mind staying a little extra and working with my kid?
Mm-hmm.
I give you like $20. And again, I'm like, cha-ching, $20. You kidding me?
Yeah, hello.
$20. And sure enough, I worked with the kid. And I don't know whether it was the next game, the game after. It had nothing to do with me. I don't hit the ball for the kid. Okay, I just build their confidence and teach them the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid got a hit. And Dad's like, you must be like a doctor of hitting. And then my original nickname before Life Play Guy was Hit Doc. And that was it. And I started doing, I know nicknames, right? And I started doing lessons, and this is my 21st year with that Little League. New City Little League, I'm in 21 years with that league.
Okay, so here's the biggest question I have about the Yankees regarding you. AJ Burnett, fan or not a fan?
I am a fan. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yes, I am. He has his struggles, but I've been an AJ Burnett fan for a while. I liked him when they got him. I can't
Why?
say... I think AJ produces. I do. He's had his troubles. He was in trouble last year, but he's definitely going. I think that trade, did it go through today? If not, it's going through. Okay, I think the Pirates are going to sweeten the deal.
It's not out yet, but
It's going to get done. And am I sorry to see him go? No. I think we become better. And in the sports world today, you strive to always get better. Well, the Yankees bettered themselves, and it's what is he in position to fight for a fifth starter? Let him go somewhere else and be a number 2 somewhere. He won't be a number 1, but he'll be a good number 2. We demand so much from New
Did you
York.
say he'll be a good number 2?
I do. I think he'll be a number 2. I really do. Okay, 3. He'll be a starter for the Pirates at 2 or 3. He will.
Well, okay, but are you saying generally speaking he's a good number 2 or 3 starter?
No,
But only
give me a
because
team.
I think you just said that.
Give me a team.
On the Yankees,
No,
he's not.
He's fighting for number 5. Of course not. He's fighting to be a fifth starter if he stayed, and he wouldn't be.
Are you in the minority on this? I kind of feel like you might be in the minority on
I
this.
probably am. There's a lot of fans out there that want his neck.
Yeah.
You're one
Duh.
of them? Are you one of them?
No, because I'm not a fan.
Oh,
we
man,
already
I
went
thought
over that, Joe.
I thought I was going to get you on that.
Come
I really
on.
did. Yeah, I am in the minority, and I'm sorry. I'm a Yankee and Giant lover, so I can't kill the guys that are on my team.
Are you ever negative about or down on any?
You know what? No. And I guess that's where my haters come from. I'm sure that if we were on blogging, they'd be like, you're full of crap. Get rid of him. Okay. Well, you're going to get your wish. He's probably going to be gone tomorrow. And he'll be a number.
You out of here.
Me, I'm gone today. So you get both your wishes. And that's that. So he's gone.
Well, he's not gone yet,
He will be.
but he probably will be. I mean, the Yankees need to make a move, and it's time to divorce.
How about like Posada? You weren't like sorry to see him go? He had to go. He was done. He wasn't doing anything. It's sad to see someone go. It is.
No, I bet it is. No, honestly,
It's
I can
sad.
totally understand that. That makes a lot of sense. If you are a fan and you've built the majority of your life rooting for one team, and then you get an attachment to the players, really good positive fans like you do. Not all fans are really good positive fans,
I know.
But if you are like that, and I feel like with Posada, he was, he was sort of in a little bit of a different category. I mean, you saw the stuff that happened with him last year that got really ugly. That was crazy. I mean, I didn't think that, with the clashes with, Girardi and even Cashman and,
I mean, that's a lot of respect from the Yankees to not place him on waivers and just keep him
I know.
for the year.
They knew
I
how
don't know many
politically
people-
dangerous that.
Huge
Yeah.
black guy.
I know. And
So they really
Jeter's
did-
best friend.
Right. So they really did do the right thing.
Yeah, but it was so public, and and there were some people. I mean, he got a little bit of brushback, but even so, he's just one of those guys that I think is sort of untouchable.
Core
And-
4.
Exactly.
Core 2.
Core 2.
It's the Core 2.
Yeah, no, it's the Core 2, soon to be Core 1, I think, very
Yeah,
shortly. But
I agree.
yeah, I think I it's curious because I think you were talking about getting haters. You were telling me about like online message boards that
Yeah, some of
people-
them. I explain this to me, Miss Non-Fan. I have no idea. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you just came out of the closet. You were never a Giants fan, and you'll never be the face of the Giants." Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with bandwagon people too. You know, you want to start rooting for the Giants right now because they won a Super Bowl? Come on. Bus is huge. Get on. I don't understand how a fan of a team could hate another fan of the same team. Tell me how. I don't hate Fireman Ed, and I'm not a fan of the Jets. I think Fireman Ed has unbelievable passion. I think anybody that could quiet down 80,000 people just to get them to cheer again is incredible to me. But yet, what was it? 80-something% wanted him gone? What did he do? So I really don't understand how people could be upset. That's somebody just getting online. I was on, after Boomer and Carton, I was on, I think it was Barstool Sports. Mm-hmm. They crushed me.
Oh, really?
Crushed. I loved it.
Oh,
Yeah,
blog
look at
competitor.
that.
All
Yes.
right, I see.
Yeah, they crushed me, which was fine, but
Whatever, Barstool.
yeah, whatever. Take that. So, and there's been several other sites where, I could read not such nice things. But again, that's either jealousy, and don't be jealous. I'm just a fan. I know.
Who happens to be sitting in a podcast studio right now.
Right, probably because of my license plates. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
And gets to chill with players and,
and you.
and duh.
So
Best part
and,
there
and,
is.
and some
Hello.
Eagle fans.
And
So-
Jimmy Jam.
Right. So you know what? I'm gonna get that along with, I didn't expect to get 1,200 followers on Twitter or 1,200 followers on Facebook. License plate guy. I didn't expect that. So I think that's pretty cool to get that. And I try and answer anybody that sends me a message like, yeah, let's go Big Blue, and if somebody leaves something not so nice, I delete it. No big deal. I don't have to get into it with them.
Okay, real quick, and then I want to talk about some other fun stuff and not all sports. What's the deal with this T-shirt here? So, this is what kind of amazes me is that people will just send you stuff.
Yeah, I received like a dozen T-shirts in the mail, but there's always a catch. I mean, well, not always. I get license plates and they say wear them, and this over here. This is a humongous poster of me wearing my plates, and what am I supposed to do?
What's going on there? Seriously.
It's a
What's
huge
happening?
poster of me.
Someone sent that to you?
Yeah.
Who?
All right.
Who?
We'll
I honestly, I really needed. Who's at home? What human is at home? It's
Need I open it anymore?
I think I've been thinking about LPG. He's on the brain, so therefore I'm gonna go and find some photo of him
Right.
and blow it up to how many feet you think this is?
It's called large. And I'll get that, which is what am I gonna? I'm gonna put that in my house. I'm not. It's
Does
cool.
it come with
it's
a
cool.
return address, or is it just?
No, this one did, and the shirt did too. I think the guy wanted me to make shirts, but I got a dozen of them right before I left for the Super Bowl, and I took them with me, and I handed them out to the players, some of the players, and anybody that was in the lobby. I took about 1,000 pictures at that team hotel, and I gave, if I had them and I had them left over from giving to a couple players, I gave them to anybody that wanted a shirt. It's kind of cool.
It's pretty amazing. All right, so real quick, because I always have a lot of other interests other than just talking straight about sports, and that's just me ripping off my buddy Michelle D. Beadle, and I'm always just trying to imitate her, probably poorly. But here's the question: other than the Giants, other than the Yankees, are you a Knicks fan too?
I'm a Knicks fan.
Oh, that
I'm
didn't sound all in, Joe.
That's because it's not the Giants. I'm not a huge basketball guy, but if I had to pick, I would pick Knicks. I was a Nets fan at one point because I used to babysit for Otis Birdsong's kid, Sean Birdsong. Do you know who that is?
Random.
Very random. And the funniest part about that was back in the day, and I think I was just 16 or 17, Otis Birdsong, I met through a family friend. Otis Birdsong said, hey, you know who's moving next door to my house? And I'm like, who? And he's like, Joe Morris. And I'm like, Joe Morris of the Giants? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, no. So the next week when Joe moved in, I was like,
crazy.
but back then,
So disturbing.
Yeah, but back then there was no.
That is disturbing. You have to admit that that's very
extremely disturbing.
God.
Sick. Don't ever let someone in your house. What, are you kidding me? I mean, I was 16. I wasn't married. I didn't have a kid. I didn't know what life was about.
Right.
And Joe opened his door to me, and we'll have him on the show because Joe to this day.
You know, I think we should just start calling this the LPG show. Booked. It's booked.
Wait, Joe to this day is a huge friend of mine, and probably one of my best buds for I can't tell you how long. Joe saw me through college. Joe saw me through after college, guided me in work-related stuff, and we stay close to this day.
Okay, so we've established the fact that you are a crazy, amazing Uber fan when it comes to football and I guess baseball, but you are definitely an on the fence, can't make up your mind, non-fan
Basketball
of
fan.
basketball.
Yeah, I would go with that.
If they when they move to Brooklyn, you gonna jump on that bandwagon?
Where? Who? No, no. I'm a Knicks fan. Come on, Lynn. Linsanity, baby.
There you go. We know that
Come
exists.
on.
So what else are you, like, do you watch reality TV? Like, what's going on? Can we talk about Top Chef? I mean, do you like any Bravo reality series? Do you know, I mean, you told me you knew who Katy Perry was, that kind of
Well, she was at the after party with the Giants.
You are such a name dropper.
It's so funny, though.
You're such a name dropper.
What did I drop? I dropped Giants. Katy Perry.
What
Sitting
color
next to
hair
me.
did she have?
Blue.
Really?
Yeah, she
oh,
did.
she had the blue on the Grammys.
She was-
Did you watch the Grammys?
I did not watch the Grammys.
LPG.
I couldn't. I was
I don't
out.
think you're going to be invited back anymore.
I know.
We
We
need
could
things
talk
to
about the
talk about.
Grammys.
You actually.
Adele is awesome.
Oh, see. Well, here's one thing that I know you like. Rick Ross.
Love Rick Ross.
Bossing it.
I love Rick Ross. I love him. Rick Ross is a man. Well, don't forget. Listen, I work in Yonkers, Bronx area. Okay, I grew up in Spring Valley. I was a huge Sugar Hill gang fan. I was a huge Run DMC fan. Rap has just been a part of my life. Rap and hip hop forever. This
Yeah.
is not a bandwagon thing either.
Right.
So I'm all about Rick Ross. I'm all about Drake. You know, I'm all about music. I love music.
Did you say you're all about Drake?
Love Drake.
Oh,
You don't like Drake?
you're never being invited back.
How could you? You like Rick Ross but not Drake?
Again, not being invited back.
Okay.
Ever.
Everybody? Nice. Thank you for tuning in today. Really? Why not? I'd like to know why.
He's like, oh, so I'm gonna just kind of like sit here, have like a monotone voice, and tell you what I feel. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. See, I could do that all day,
So you're
every
a
day.
huge Lil Wayne fan.
But like, I like Lil Wayne. Yeah, I actually appeared on Lil Wayne. Oh, it's a little name drop.
Name drop.
I appeared on
Name
Lil
drop.
Wayne on First Take a couple years ago, and he was awesome because he went to debate Skip Bayless, and he was and he knows his sports, man. He knows his sports. You know, I actually was a Hot Boys fan because he used to be a part of a group called Hot Boys. Like he's from New Orleans,
Right.
And their music they're awesome, and he records so much that it's like even hard to keep up with him. He records all the time.
He is literally on everything.
I mean,
He
like,
might have more nicknames than me, by the way, which I'm very jealous of. He has a lot.
That should be a point of jealousy. Okay, so we can talk hip hop and what else? Anything else? What else you got going on?
Well, we
Movies,
could talk.
Oscars, what's
I
going
love
on? Celebrities?
movies. Love movies. I could talk movies with you forever.
Really?
Top 10, top 5.
What's the most
Which
recent one you saw?
I saw the whatchamacallit movie, J. Edgar.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Leo?
That was all right.
Okay.
I didn't love it.
What else?
I don't know. Give me a top 5.
Oh God, I haven't even thought it.
Come
See,
on, like
I'm not
you
like
can't.
a list
No.
person.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could.
No.
You could roll off 5. You could roll off Untouchables or Braveheart.
Heathers
or,
is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Really? I didn't mind Heathers, by the way. They're nasty bitches. Sorry. That won't make the air, will it?
I really hope it does because that's exactly why I love that.
Yeah, that was a good movie. But you weren't a Braveheart fan?
Oh God. Could you be any more stereotypical?
I think
seriously.
I think Rick
let's
Ross
go get
could be
you
Braveheart.
in the Viking.
Rick Ross could be like freedom. Ugh. He would be awesome.
Freedom.
He'd be awesome at Braveheart. You didn't like the Untouchables?
Untouchables, awesome movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about
God, you're such a guy.
all right. Well, what do you want me to say? Like, Rose. What do you want? What do you want?
Have you ever seen Welcome to the Dollhouse?
No. Have you? People out there?
Yes.
What is that?
Oh, the main title character, her name is Wiener Dog.
Oh, then yeah, I'm gonna.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna get that.
It's all about being like the biggest
watch it
nerd
tonight.
ever. I'm a big fan of nerds, obviously.
All right. So you like? How about like we'll go your way. Monsters Inc.
Never seen it.
Have you guys seen it in there?
Jimmy, someone pipe
All of
in.
them, right?
I'm a Pixar fanboy, so yeah, love
Pixar.
Oh, we're getting
Phenomenal.
like big.
Oh, no, hold
Isaac's
on.
giving up.
Hold on. Monsters Inc. 2's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a prequel. Oh yeah, very excited.
Phenomenal movie. No,
Wait,
not Boo.
Well,
No,
wait.
Boo's not
Isaac's getting the. Isaac at first is like,
Oh.
yeah, Monsters Inc. And then
Who
Isaac's
said
like,
Boo? Isaac, you said Boo?
Why mess with greatness? They're gonna mess it up with the sequel.
Oh,
He's upset at the.
Come
at
on.
the- at the
Beauty and the
second-
Beast 2, Lion King 2.
Okay,
What are you
okay.
doing?
I don't.
Actually, that is a very good point.
I don't
They never
disagree.
made Little Mermaid 2, did they? I will kill
Little Mermaid.
someone.
They did make.
Oh my
Little
God!
Mermaid
How
too, by
dare
the way.
them?
Little Mermaid. Monsters Inc. Great. Toy Story.
Oh, see,
Actually,
Toy Story.
2, 3. They're all good. They're all good. All right. See, I got it. I got a yay.
I'm going to potentially say the most this might cause riots, but I
You
did
didn't like-
not like Toy Story at all.
It
depressed
give me
me.
one. It depressed
It
you.
depressed me. It made me feel like I was in some dark cave. I was like, it's
It really. Did
I
it
was
really
in some
depress you?
like dark cave and like from my childhood somewhere. Not that I was ever in a dark cave during my childhood, but like it just like put me in this very
She's not a fan of dark caves either.
very dark place, and I never.
Really?
Yeah, and like all I heard about was like, oh, you guys see Toy Story? I just saw it, by the way, recently, like within the last
Can I
year.
ask you what's your handle on, like, you might be one of those haters that are after me too. That you just post hate. You just hated it because everybody else likes it.
Oh,
So you're a hater, right?
I want to talk about it.
All right.
Yeah,
How
I'm
about
trolling,
saving-
I'm
how about-
trolling all the
how about-
giant message boards, LPG.
How about Saving Private Ryan?
Our executive producer here, Chad Mum, he's totally on board with this with me, I believe, because we've talked about this before. Otherwise, we're gonna have a little conversation off this side. But at the same time, Saving Private Ryan came out. See, I'm already getting worked up about this
Well,
because I'm
don't-
anticipating. It's like it's coming. At the same time that came out, so did The Thin Red Line.
Okay.
And The Thin Red Line,
Movies
directed
always
by
come out,
Terrence
yeah.
Malick, was to me like a million times better than Saving Private Ryan.
I don't know about a million, and they're both good movies. You a million times better than Saving Private Ryan?
I
million?
never have a desire to ever see Saving Private Ryan
Wow.
ever again.
Wow.
The Thin Red Line I could watch over and over. I mean, I just love that movie.
Great movie.
Awesome movie. Well, I was anticipating a little more.
No,
beef
a
there.
great movie.
All right.
Field of Dreams.
Great movie.
Don't lie to me, guys in there. And I'll tell you right now, when he says, "Dad, you want to have a catch?" I know you all lose it. I know you do, every single one of you, because I lose I lose it.
What do you lose?
Okay?
Your ish.
I lose my ish every single time. And the wife is like, "You crying?" I'm like, "No." And of course not. Something in my eye. The same bull crap guys pull. But Rudy.
No.
Another movie. What, you hate Rudy? Rudy. Rudy.
Of course you love Rudy.
Yes. Well,
Nah.
yeah, of course.
Nah.
That's true. No?
Meh.
Okay.
Meh.
All right, I got one for you.
All right. Go.
This will be in your top 3.
Go.
I don't know, after
Bring it.
Dollhouse Killers or whatever you said, whatever that was. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
This will be in your top 3. And the reason why it didn't get much play when it was in the theaters, because of its name, if you know this correctly. Shawshank Redemption.
Awesome movie.
Top 3?
I don't know. I don't put things in lists, Joe.
She's a hater.
An awesome movie.
Shawshank, guys?
But did you ask them to put it in their top 3?
Top 3?
We can do top 3 in here.
Wow.
Wow. That was that was just a little.
Rick Ross, that's in his top 3.
Oh, Jesus.
He was at the after
What
party
else do you
at
know
the
about
Giant
Rick Ross?
game, and I talked to him. No, that's totally made up, by the way, and I don't know whether it's in his top 3.
I was like, you know what?
You gotta go.
Now we're getting.
Yeah, I
forward.
really can talk movies forever. I Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
What do you think the temperature is? 1.
You know what?
Phenomenal movie.
I wish I'm not one of those people that could just like off the top of my head come up with movie lines. Terrible at it.
I can't have you back. This is it. Wrap it up. Cut.
Jimmy.
I've always wanted cut. No, you can't. But you're thinking about the movies now, aren't you?
Yeah,
You
but
know, I'm not a
yes, but this
Chucky
isn't-
fan. I'm not any of those crappy Chucky.
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street was
When it came out,
my jam back
when
in
it
the day.
came out, Nightmare on Elm Street, when he was going down that alleyway, scraping the walls.
How about was that one with
Great
Johnny Depp in
movie.
the bed?
That was one.
Yeah, that was one, right? Oh, God.
Great. That was That was great.
I actually saw 4 in the theaters, and it was like 1988, and this is when they had 3D glasses that they gave to you. And the end, Freddy Krueger explodes, and all these little Freddys come like whipping at your face.
The little ones.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's funny. Hey, wait,
Such a nerd.
is that Freddy? Do you remember? Was it the last Freddy where? Okay, Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know Kelly Lee? You know, the guy that runs around and catches everything and smokes cigarette, drives a moped? Mm-hmm. You know he was Freddy. Did you guys know that?
No.
Who knew that? Anybody?
I think I knew that.
Yeah, I got one.
Jared.
He was Freddy.
The knowledge.
He was You kidding me? He was Freddy.
Robert Englund?
No, that's the original Freddy. Robert Englund was the original.
Oh.
Kelly Lee, the
Oh, but who cares? Anything. It's like Bob Barker in The Price is Right, okay? Like, you will never get me to watch The Price is Right unless Bob Barker's hosting it.
All right. No, I'm agreeing with you. I didn't think he was a good Freddy.
Yeah, but I never even saw, like, if it's like, I'm not watching
you were done with one. You're one and done.
No, I'm done.
Like the show.
No. That is
one
true.
And done.
This is definitely one and done. Click off. No, it's like the Freddy Krueger films. Anything without Robert Englund, I'm out.
I totally agree with you. I don't
it.
watch. Who is it now? The comedian.
Well.
Yeah, you do with the glasses.
What's Drew
name?
Carey.
Drew Carey. You're right. I don't watch it.
My lifelong dream was to be an audience member and contestant on The Price is Right with Bob Barker, and I never saw it realized.
You know what mine was? Mine was to be on that Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh,
And I would go up and they'd do something behind me on that green board or whatever they do. Whose Line Is It was great.
Okay, so after that scintillating conversation, I think it's about ready to wrap up episode number 1 of the Amy K. Nelson podcast, presented by SB Nation and co-hosted today by the lovely license plate guy, Mr. Joe Rubeck. And what have we learned today? We have learned that you like to stock team hotels. Okay. That you like to wear lots of license plates around your neck. Yep. That you also have you're a big fan of your bro's bro. You're a dude. You're like,
I'm a dude.
Give me Braveheart. Give me whatever. What else?
Gladiator.
Yeah, there we go. Gladiator. I mean, you might as well be in like a clubhouse or a locker room. So that's like
Top Gun.
Oh, Top Gun. Yeah, duh, obviously. And that for some reason football players really like you still, and they call into shows which don't even exist yet, and they talk for like 15 minutes.
I did like beaches.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, since we're ending the show, I figured I couldn't get killed on it. So. Beaches was kind of cool.
Joe, before we go, what did you learn about Amy today?
Well, she's a hater. Okay, she's not a fan of anything. But she tells unbelievable stories. Oh. And that I heard through the grapevine that she was literally at my house. I was somewhere in the
Oh, are you trying to say I'm a stalker now?
Yeah, she was stalking my house. I could have sworn I saw her with a screwdriver trying to get the license plates off my car. But maybe that's just me.
I go for some money, I think.
I know. Actually, what I learned is that she is an unbelievable host of an unbelievable show that is going to go down in history as the #1 pod show in the world.
Pod show?
Podcast.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what? Don't hate, because it could be a show one time. Or 2 times.
That's the goal, at least once.
Exactly. So
that one show we do, this one show is going to have millions and millions. It might take 1 million years and to have 1 million or plus views, but it's gonna be great. Okay, well, thanks for coming in, LPG.
Really appreciate it to everybody in there and in here.
Yep, we might not ever see you again, and we might not ever see me again in this setting, but in case we do, come back and see us again. And for LPG, I'm Amy K. Nelson. We're out.